Hello, I am RJB, and today we continue a set between JH and 458. The score is currently 1-0 in favor of JH. 458 just couldn't make his moves count in the very first match, but maybe in game number 2 he's going to find himself with a little bit more success. Who knows? Who knows? We've got JH here on the name N.A. Gosu on the red Terran here on the middle right off the map, and we've got 458 here on the blue Protoss, as is the usual, pretty much always on the Protoss. He does play Terran sometimes and Zerg as well, but he plays those races against players who he, believes he can beat with Terran or Zerg. He doesn't play Terran or Zerg that often against other top level players like JH or Libaku. Sometimes he does. And he's not that bad on Terran. His Zerg though, well, let's not get too deep into it. JH here starts off with triple barracks into an early refinery. He started off with a depot into triple barracks into a third depot, well, second depot and a gas. If you go for 8 supply depot, if you go for a barracks, wow, I completely fumbled that one. If you go for a barracks at 8 supply, you cannot afford that early refinery, which gives away that he went for a supply depot at 8 supply and a 9 supply barracks. While he's stopping his marine production for now, he wants to get a little bit more money. To be honest, the game sound is very, very quiet, isn't it? It's barely there. It's barely there. Let me just fix that. No idea. Oh yeah, look at how low that is. Gotta put that way up. Somewhere around here. This should be acceptable. Acceptable levels of game sound. Alright, Academy there on the way. 458 going for the early cyber core there. Of course, double cast there already mining. This is going to look like it will be somewhat of a standard match, although do note this one. Usually players put their Nexus here above, or they put it below. And that means he's got more space to build, to get gas from. Like a lot of the times, a lot of players get their tech structures, like their cyber cores and their Citadel of Doom and their Temple's Archive in this little area right here that I've got highlighted right now. 458 is switching his tech over to here, which means he is opening up a lot of gas here that he can mine from, which he otherwise couldn't mine from. Which kind of leads me to believe that unlike in the first game, where he went for his carriers very late into the game, I have a feeling he's going for drops into carriers. Although he's adding a triple... Oh, wow. I just completely jinxed it. I just completely jinxed what I thought he was going to do. He's going for 4 gateways very early on. Double robotics there in the front. Citadel of Doom there in the back. This is way different from what I was expecting. I was expecting him to go for carriers pretty early on because of this Nexus here and slotting space for the Nexus there. You can mine from a total of 8 refineries without any loss whatsoever. We've got a robotics there on the way. JH is moving out. Just like in the first game, he's moving out with his Marines, putting them there in the choke, just to make sure 458 is not going to do anything funny, like moving out with some units, or Dark Templars maybe even. He's going to put up the pressure. Maybe he's even going to throw down a turret here in the front. That would be ballsy. In the previous game, he sniped a shuttle out of the air with his Marines while I was moving out, and he killed a shuttle and a Reaver inside it. He's protecting the turret there really well done. More cannons being placed in the front from 458. Not sure if JH is going aggressive, or if he's going to play this defensively, and if he's just putting those Marines there to once again try and snipe that shuttle. Maybe that's his deal. Maybe he's going to try to stop the option of Dark Templars being used and utilized and sneaking out into the middle. Maybe he's going to go for a tank push. The tank is rolling out. Yes. That is a tank push. Not something we often see in Terran against Protoss in the Korean community, because the Korean Protosses are very, very, very good at stopping this. They have something called... Oh, what's this? Double Reaver already there. This is a very quick Double Reaver. He's going in for... Yeah, this is exactly why you don't go for the push. The double Reaver there with the shuttle micro just completely shuts down big groups of Marines and a tank push. Basically, the Zealots will tank or take the tank hits, and the Marines gets taken down, the tank gets taken down really quickly. The double Reaver is just so extremely lethal. But he's gonna have to run away here though, because Marines are on the chase and he doesn't have shuttle speed yet. He's gonna have to try to micro his way out of here, although he's gonna lose his shuttle once again, just like in game 1. Is he... Oh, the scan there up on the hill. That is clutch. That's really, really well played from JH there. Once again, slows down the first drop. But Zealots are on the way. Zealots are going to try to cut off the escape path of those Marines. Going to try to catch them while they're out of the base. He's going to try to kill them, and he catches them successfully. JH there getting cut out, overextending. But there's a lot of Marines fighting into some Zealots. But the Zealots are actually just tearing them down within the blink of an eye with their level... Not level 1 attack, but they are still tearing those Marines down with ease. Not even relative ease, just pure ease. That was the easiest kill, their easiest... Basically, he gets payback for losing his shuttle. Gonna kill the Deeper there on the top side as well. That's a huge investment loss there for JH, but JH has a nice, pretty wall there in the front to keep those Zealots out in the case they do try to sneak in. But more importantly, he's got those shuttles, and he's only just now getting shuttle speed. He completely forgot he gets shuttle speed. He thought he had it being researched, but he forgot it. Now that might make things a little bit more difficult. Because, well, the shuttles are easier to snipe when they're slow, but you also get more reaction time. Like, for example, if the shuttle's flying very slowly over the top side here, it's very easy to respond because there's no danger. You got like another 4 to 5 extra seconds of reaction time to pull those SCVs to safety, to pull your Marines in to snipe them. Although it's working anyway. It seems to be working anyway. SCVs there mostly staying alive. The shuttle Reaver are both also still alive. He's actually killing all the tanks, killing all the Marines there with double shuttle Reaver, and he's doing so successfully. This is not how this was supposed to go. JH had so much reaction time, but he completely flunked it. Lost a lot of units, but didn't lose his SCVs. That's important. He didn't lose his SCVs, but losing units. At this stage in the game, when a Protoss has 3 robos, is making a lot of shuttles, and has a lot of 6 gateways, the Protoss has a lot of punching power. The Protoss can throw out rapid, strong, big drops. But he has to be fast though, he has to be fast. He still has the 2 Reavers alive. That's a huge win. He went in with the double Reaver and got out as well. JH has to pretty much play perfectly from here on out. He can't really afford to lose units, but given that there's 2 Reavers in there, he's going to lose units. That is going to happen. But this is now a very difficult game. Losing all those units earlier is making this a very difficult game. Reavers unloading, Reavers shooting, and a lot of Marines once again going down. Shuttle also goes down, so the Reavers have to stay on the low ground there, but they do clear out almost all the Marines. The Zealots are going to clean out the last couple of Marines, also killing the turrets on the top side, and another drop comes in. The drop there, this one has Templars in there, 4 Templars in total. This is going to be an absolutely brutal, massive carpet storms on every single little service area once again. And yeah, that's a lot of SCVs dead and gone. It goes for about 70 to 23. I think that's about 47 kills in total. Let's see how many of these got these. Well, those only got about 10, but the other 2 Templars did the rest of the work. And yes, this happened because JH lost the Marines there on the top side of the map, and lost the Marines to those 2 Reavers. This got flown in. Basically, losing a lot of units is very, very bad news. You are going to be in a very, very difficult position where everything that comes in afterwards is going to have an easier time dealing damage than the one before, and it's going to snowball and escalate and get worse and worse. It's going to get worse and worse. Another drop there comes in. Let's see what's in there. I count some Templars, count some Zealots. It's unloading. They're on top of everything. Carpet unloading, getting a lot of kills, clearing out tanks. It's a very, very expensive loss for JH. Loses a couple tanks, Goliaths, and some Marines, but in the end, I do think he's got just enough units left in the tank. But the problem is he had to pull his SCVs to safety once again, so his mining time is being interrupted again and again and again. And the other drop is already there on the way. 458 is doing his classic 458 signature style of drops coming in every 30 seconds and just unloading about 60 units every single time. Storms are on the SVs and JH is too slow with the dodge, and JH is forced to call the GG in 11 minutes and 4 seconds. And this is a game that is very different from the first one. In the first one, 458 waited very, very long with his first drop and couldn't make anything happen afterwards. Just nothing happened whatsoever. But in this game, JH couldn't keep up with the frequency of 458's attacking style after he lost all those Marines on the top side. And I think losing all those Marines really made the game difficult, because he lost like 20 Marines in total on the top side of the middle of the map, and that really made defending very difficult. And then he made a second mistake. And that second mistake was not paying attention when the shuttle came flying in, and the shuttle and the Reaver just cleared out all the units. So let's see if 458 can keep up with what he was doing last game, or is JH going to get his act together and play a very consistent, solid defense, followed by a very, very strong offense. Can he do it? 458, as we just saw last game, when he gets rolling, when the 458 engine gets rolling, he is really, really scary. It's very difficult to keep up with what he's doing. Once again, the Nexus there being placed below his main Nexus instead of above means that he has a very good chance of switching over into carriers. I really like this change. I really like it. Now, JH is gonna try to go for a cheese. This is definitely a very cheesy build order. He's gonna try to bunker rush the choke. And he's arriving just in time, but 458 knows it's coming, and 458 has those probes there to slow this down and buy himself some time to get those cannons finished up. But the Marines arriving on the scene. SV also there on the scene, built a gateway just to block. And the cannon there in the back gets finished. He blocks the Marines from entering as well. And unlike in the first game, JH cannot sneak in. And JH actually finds himself in a pretty tough position here, because that's quite a big investment. He lost an SCV early on, went for a delayed depot there on the bottom side, only 2 barracks there on the front. That is actually pretty painful. Also a pretty early gas. So his entire economy is shifted downwards just a little bit. Just a little bit, but that little switch downwards can really wind up hurting him in the long run. But also don't forget, 458 lost 3 probes in the front, and losing those 3 probes might actually make up a little bit for this choice in build order by JH. But this is JH we're talking about. JH is very consistent, he's strong, going for a very early factory. He's going to try to go all in on the early game. He's going to try to make it happen. Factory there on the way. Academy on the way as well. He's going to try to bust open that front door and make 458 pay for the previous game. I like this. I like this aggressive play from JH. This is actually something we more often see in Terran against Zerg, in the foreign scene specifically. Building factories on the middle. He's building factory in the middle against Protoss and an engineering bay there as well. 458 though here on the aggression, pushing forward, killing Marines, and when you only have 2 barracks, losing Marines hurts a lot more than if you had 3 of them, because there's simply going to be a lot less Marines on the map compared to when you have 3, basically, and you lose them even less. The game is looking pretty here for 458. The game is looking good, but the tank and siege mode are both on the way. Now do note, instead of building his robotics in the front, 458 built them in the back. That's actually pretty smart. He had a feeling something was up. We build them in the back where they cannot be taken down when the front gets busted down by a siege tank and stimmed Marines. So at least he's got that going for him. Also a turret there, he's lifting up the engineering bay. I'm not sure if that's the best choice. You might want to get level 1 attack, just in case. Level 1 attack can really make a big difference in killing those Protoss units and structures just quick enough. second pylon there coming down in the back. Just in case you lose the pylon in the front, the pylon in the back. And he's going to make a couple of cannons there as well, just to buy himself more time in the case this tank manages to push through that entire frontal choke just quick enough. Zealots are being shuttled over the hill though. He's going to bring them... He's bringing one over the hill. He's going to clear out the sides. Just in case there's Marines on the sides, this Zealot is there to clear them out. The Zealot is there to open the map up for 458 and provide him with a path into JH's base to storm and, well, not storm, but to drop Reavers on his SCVs. So I think he's going to have to use his Reavers to defend first. You have to defend with them first. Oh, JH goes in with the same attack there, but it might be a little bit too early because two cannons in the back are going to kill some Marines. He's also sending some Zealots into the fray to clear up those Marines. And the Marines do lose the fight. Did kill the cannon there, but that's a huge loss. A lot of Marines gone down. Now pushing forward is going to be even harder, and JH is pretty much going all in. He only has a single command center. He's now breaking into the base there, though. Sets up another tank there near the cannon. The cannon is going to go down, but the two Reavers in the back have finished. And those two Reavers in the back, alongside those Zealots, are going to clear this out without much trouble whatsoever. There is the unload of the Reavers. Tanks are going to get taken down. Zealots are pushing back the Marines. He can't get close enough with the Reavers. He's pulling back for now, but he killed two tanks. Two tanks and about 5 Marines. That's a pretty big hit. The H tries to go forward there to snipe his Reavers, picks them up. Reavers, oh, he's gonna lose the shuttle. No, he doesn't lose the shuttle. Shuttle stays alive, and he kills all the Marines as well. This is exactly why you don't go for this push. Because if the Protoss has some pretty good micro and 2 Reavers in the shuttle, they can hold this really easily. And it doesn't help that JH only had 2 barracks to facilitate this. Now, he did build some extra barracks there at home, because, well, he can afford it and he needs to build them for sure. Tanks there on the front stop producing, gonna have to lift that one up. 458 is in a really good spot here. He just has to wait for 2 more shuttles to arrive, and he can send in 3 shuttles with 4 Reavers and maybe a couple of Zealots into JH's base. And the question then becomes, does JH have enough units left back at home to defend against 4 Reavers and 4 Zealots? Because that is very difficult to defend against with Marines specifically. He does have a tank there, but only a single tank. He has to wait for 2 more factories to finish before he can produce more tanks. He's flying 1 factory back to his home. He's only on 35 SCVs. Losing basically any SCVs at this point is going to lose him the game. So JH, as I said before in previous game, is going to have to play a perfect defense if he wants to come out on top. If he wants to win this game, there's no room for error. There's no room for mistakes. And 458, on the other hand, has a lot of leeway. He's got a lot of leeway, but he doesn't exactly know what JH's build order is. He doesn't really know what JH's build order is because he never got out of his base into JH's base, so he doesn't know that JH is playing this on very low economy. That is why he's waiting so long to set up the perfect big mass drop attack, because he wants to make it count. In his mind, if he goes in now, there's going to be a lot of units defending for JH. That is what he's thinking. That is why he is waiting. But he couldn't be further from the truth. And in fact, by waiting, he's going to give JH a lot of free time to get all the Marines he needs, all the turrets he needs, and to get those factories up and running, and to have a couple more tanks there back at home to defend himself with against that incoming mass drop from 458. But 458 is also at the same time building a lot of gateways so he can follow up the mass drop attack with frontal attacks, or so I believe. He's got speed, he's got range on the way, level 1 shields on the way. As usual, 458 gets shields first. He doesn't get level 1 attack like most other players do. He is a firm believer in the shield upgrade. Now, the shield upgrade does provide him shields on every single unit, but it doesn't really give him much more damage on his gateway units, which is what he's mostly going to be using for now. Storm is on the way, so he's going to switch into storm drops soon as well. There's a lot of depots here for him to kill with his mass drop, and that is exactly what he's going to do. Goodbye depots, I'm going to clear your depots. But first, Marines on the bottom side are going to have to get cleared out. Ooh, the Marines are going to clear out those Zealots before the Zealots kill the tank. And no, the tank is going to go down. Depots are going down very, very rapidly. Those 4 Reavers are going to clear this entire section, or at least going to try to. Although now units are coming into the top and the bottom side, and they're going to kill the Reavers before they finish off all the structures. But at least JH lost about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 structures there. 7 depots. Well, He has 6 depots and 1 academy. So he supplies tech at the moment. And that's a pretty big loss. Pretty significant, because now, after JH lost a lot of units while defending that mass drop, he cannot make new units. So the follow-up drop from 458 is going to face the same amount of units that JH had when his units inside of JH's base died. So that's a pretty good setup for 458. Although JH, once again, is not planning on sitting around. He's instead going to throw a curveball and go full aggression on 458. But that might actually be the wrong choice, because 458 has a lot of gateways, and those gateways spell trouble. Also, he's got Templars, and Templars do really well against those Marines and those tanks. Oh, Templars getting cut out in the middle there. Oh, that's a pretty costly mistake there from 458. Yeah, JH is not feeling like sitting around. He wants to play aggressive, he wants to punish. Well, there's nothing to punish, he's just trying his luck. But his luck might have ran out. Lost a lot of Marines there to the cannons, and that is also going to clear out the Marines while the drop is flying out across the map towards JH's base. Although maybe he's going to try to intercept and cut off the escape path of those Zealots and Marines. He's loading a couple of units there on the middle, but the Marines and tanks are already too far away. He missed the drop there on top of those units. He's just going to keep flying around and go straight to the base. Tanks in the front there is teaching up, going to kill those units on the ground. That's actually a pretty good move here. Although it looks like the Zealots are going to get on top of the tanks, and actually it's backfiring. Because now tanks are firing on the Zealots that are on top of the tanks, and they're hitting the tanks. But JH still has a lot of units there back at home. About 140 supply against 187. Comes in, drop is going straight for the SCVs. SCVs are not yet running away. SCVs are finally running away, but there's no Templars there in the mix. There's no Templars in the mix. It's just Zealots. But in the front though, Dark Templars are clearing out all the tanks and they're wreaking havoc, and JH just lost a lot of supply due to Dark Templars. Dark Templars really changing the game course here. Skank comes out, but his scan is a little bit wide, so 458 can run away. And keep those Templars alive and send them in at a later time. JH though is not giving up. He's once again going cross map, going straight for the attack. But 458 builds some cannons in his choke to keep those units out. Also, he's got level 1 shield upgrade finished up. Again, a weird upgrade to get, but he has it. 2 Reavers are coming into the mix as well. The Reaver's going to try to collect the Marines, but the Reaver Scarabs are actually not connecting until the very last moment on a single tank. But he gets in closer. On top of the tank, he kills all the tanks there with the 2 Reaver shots. And the shuttle makes it out alive with very little HP. Dark Templars there on the side, also killing those Marines and tanks. He's going to have to pull those Marines away. There's one turret there on the side though, so he can pull back to the turret for detection. But here in the front, also a great fight happening between both players. JH is really amping up the gameplay here. I really like this game. This is so different. So much aggression from JH. He's really pushing himself to the limit. Once again, 2 Reavers are unloading on the side. He's gonna kill this. Oh, he loses the Reavers. Loses the shuttle as well. That didn't look too pretty. But he's got a drop there flying across the map, and if this drop manages to land, I have a very bad feeling about JH's prospects in winning this game. He's on 4 barracks, 6 factors at the moment. He's still being pushed back here on the middle. He hasn't actually managed to break into 458's base. Drop comes in. Drop him low. Templars on the scene. SCVs are running away, but a little bit too late. He storms on all the SCVs, and that was a massive storm drop from 68, maybe even 70 SCVs, all the way down to 35. That was the very last thing JH wanted to have happen, because he's been investing so much in aggressing that he doesn't have that much left to defend with. He's at 121 supply, little dropper on the side already flying in. JH is still going for the attack with his mass tank army, but he doesn't have upgrades on his tanks, so his tanks aren't actually that strong. But 458 also doesn't really have many upgrades, although this drop here comes in, storms on the SCVs once again, and that is once again a brutal drop. He's got 60 minerals left, and nothing is mining minerals at the moment. He still has about 27 SCVs left to put on there, but making a comeback from 32 minerals in total is nigh impossible. Mass arming here though on the middle. The tanks are mowing down those cells, but Reavers are also coming into the mix. Reavers got a beautiful shot off there on the tanks. There's almost no anti-air to kill the shuttle. Reavers and Zealots are penetrating through. He's pushing forward, killing all the tanks. This is a really great exchange for 458 here. He kills so many tanks and units, and also he kept the shuttle alive, and that's a very big win for 458. That's a very big situational victory for 458. He kills so many tanks and marines and vultures, and once again Reavers unload. Reavers do go down, but he doesn't really care. He got the scarabs off, and the storms are coming down on the tanks. They're in the back now. Tanks are retreating. Tanks are Cage is doing his best to micro them to do as much damage while not losing them. More tanks and marines are on the way from the base, but he's pretty low on money. It's hard to produce more units. 458 though doesn't have a big base. He has carriers on the way though, about 5 of them. Also got Dark Templars in the mix once again. He's building a turret though for detection, specifically to combat the Dark Templars, but the Dark Templars and his Zealots are coming in too early. Storms there from the hill onto the low ground. Absolutely brutal storms. Throws on a scan to kill Dark Templars, but Dark Templars are going to kill the turret first. Dark Templars are just outside of the range of the scan. No, Dark Templars stay alive. Ooh, JH knows it's over. He calls GG. He played valiantly. He played with the most courage I've ever seen a Terran play on this level in Korea. He played with so much courage that I'm not even... I'm kind of mad that he lost, because I would have loved to see him win playing that aggressive. But 458 is just an opponent that you can't play that aggressive against. 458 played very clean, very well played. Very good control, good multitasking, good target selection. Oof, what a treat. What a great match. Great match. Anyway, that's it for the best of 3. Looks like 458 wins in the end. GH played maybe a little bit too close to the edge in games number 2 and 3. A little bit too close to the edge, and he ended up falling off the edge into a very deep cliff where he got absolutely destroyed in the end by 458's very solid, strong Protoss. Anyway, that's it for today. So RGB for RJB TV. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscribe, and come back for the next video.